Wunderschönen guten Tag, herzlich willkommen bei Crowd Gaming. Wir sind bei Pro7 Sat.1 Games und die Kollegen haben natürlich auch Everquest 2 von Sony Online Entertainment dabei. Nun gut, das Spiel ist jetzt seit 8 Jahren auf dem Markt, dennoch kommen immer wieder neue Features hinzu, darunter auch das ziemlich neue Rollenspiel-Feature namens SOE Mode. Und was das genau ist und welche tollen neuen Features noch kommen werden, das seht ihr jetzt in der Präsentation von Everquest 2. Viel Spaß!
Well, just a couple of introductions. This is Holly Longdale. She's the producer for Everquest 2. And I'm David Georgeson. I'm the Director of Development for the Everquest franchise, which is Everquest, Everquest 2, and that new one we're not talking about that we're building in a close little black box. Kind of like this room. So I'm going to run through, this is just a movie, so I have to kind of keep pace with the movie, so I'm just going to run along. But after we're done, we'll do some hands-on demo, and everybody can ask questions and talk about the game and all the other stuff. But I really can't stop very much, or else it all falls apart as a presentation, just so you know. Okay. So, I already told you my name is David Georgeson. I'm the Director of Development for the Everquest franchise at Sony Online Entertainment. And I'm here today to talk about Everquest 2, which launches here in Europe soon with the Pro7 company, as you all know. Whether you're brand new to Everquest 2 or haven't played it for a while, I think you'll enjoy the movie here because basically the game has really become something special over the years that we've been developing it. Everquest 2 is one of the deepest, largest games ever made. We've been developing this since 2001. And it's been continuous development since that time. A full-size team every single day, week, month, and year since 2001 has been being spent on this game. It's simply put one of the largest, most involving experiences that you can have in a game. We have all kinds of player character options. If you want it, we've probably got it, no matter what race or class you want. We have 19 different races. We have 24 adventuring classes and over 12 trade skilling classes for you to choose from. There's literally hundreds of combinations, and you can be pretty much whatever you want and follow whatever path you desire. Now what you're seeing here is some of the hundreds of adventuring zones we've launched in the game since 2004 when we first introduced it. This represents an absolutely staggering number of quests, monster camps, dungeons, and of course loot that you can exploit as you go through the game, as you adventure through the world of Norath. We haven't really left a lot on the table. If you can imagine something in high fantasy, it's probably here. And these areas are stuffed full of chances to be heroic or villainous in story arcs both big and small. The story we're telling now is called The Ages End Prophecy. And I'm just as an example to tell you the kinds of things that we do here. We've been developing this story for over 2 years. And in fact, it finishes up in the early part of next year in 2013. So we have really, really big story arcs. And they've always been big. The current one is centered around the Swords of Destiny. During your adventures, those swords, while you've been playing for the last couple of years, the swords have been lost, found again, thought destroyed, and now they've been stolen by this dragon that's as old as the whole world. And he's going to unlock the power of those swords and destroy everything everywhere so that he can make the universe in his own image. Small stories. Anyway, what we're really about is role-playing. And on an individual basis, role-playing is a really critical element of these kinds of games. And that's why we've developed SOE Mode, which we're going to talk a lot about later, and you'll get to play with here a little bit. But basically, it does more for role-playing than any feature ever has. We have a lot in the game, but what I've shown you so far is just kind of general overview. There are all kinds of different ways to play for pretty much any kind of gamer. For example, Everquest 2 has long been known for having the best crafting and the best player housing in the industry. But what we've done recently with Dungeon Maker is allowed players to actually create dungeons of their own and then publish it for other players to be able to play and experience. So the builders earn rewards when other players play their stuff, and then of course players earn rewards when they go through and play the content that you designed. It's a high water mark for MMOs. We also have a lot of player versus player combat action. With our Battlegrounds feature, you can choose from all kinds of different game types on all kinds of different arenas and play team versus team. But of course, we also have player versus player servers, where you can play an open field combat where it can happen at any time. Players can jump on you and do stuff. And then additionally, we also have the war fields, which allows hundreds of players to scrum together in these huge story-like battles. Everquest 2 is really deep. And I could go on and on and on, but basically, to give you what I really want to impress on you is how we support this game long term, every day as we move forward. So for the last couple of years, we've put in a lot of stuff, and I'm just going to concentrate on what we've done for the last 2 years in the next section of the movie. Our landmark cities of Freeport and Kinos have been dramatically updated, letting players explore all kinds of unique class and race quests that are specific to them and keep them moving throughout the cities on a regular basis. And we get pretty involved with the stories and the intrigue between the characters so that people get connected to their world. But we also, beyond just upgrading our stuff, we've also added all kinds of new gameplay, including the new class, which is called the Beast Lord. And this has been really popular, because what you do as a Beast Lord is you go around the world finding new animals and then teaming them so that you can fuse your spirit to their spirit and create something called a warder. And a warder travels along with you, and as you mature over time, the warder also matures with you. It evolves, and it gets better and better. We've also added an incredible system of mount and movement systems. What you're seeing here is, before we only basically let you ride mounts on the ground, like horses and stuff, of course, normal stuff. But what we've done recently is added in the ability to have leapers that leap long distances, gliders that can glide from heights, and of course, flyers as well. And you're an experience with your character, and as you do, you unlock these abilities. And of course, we don't even require you to use a mount anymore. You can use wings. And then once we had the wings, we had to go through and build races for people to be able to play against each other. So now we have these competitive races that are called ether races, and every month when there's a city festival at a city, the city cranks up their local race course, and everybody can go play against themselves, or against other players. Grouping is a big part of Everquest too, but so is solo play. And for solo players, we wanted to put in features like mercenaries, where you can recruit a mercenary and be able to have him fight alongside you. But that wasn't cool enough. What we wanted to do was make it something where you got really involved with the mercs. So they're out there in the world, and you have to go find them. Some of them are super rare and very powerful, but you've got to find them. And as you adventure through the world, you find more and more of them. Poor noob. So almost everyone likes grouping, but not everybody likes to find a group. And that's why we put public quests into the game. Public quests are basically quests that are spontaneously occur in an area, and as you walk through, you get notified that something's going on. So then you're going, oh, so that's going on. So you walk over to it, and then hundreds of other people from the area are also getting that same notification, so they end up playing with each other. And then, of course, we've also done a lot with housing. We allow players to network their houses together so they can create these huge networks of friend and guild housing networks, so you can just easily move back and forth between them. But more importantly, we gave players a way to show off to each other through a leaderboard system. Yeah, we're going fast, but there's a lot in it. Of course, we're doing all the socialization stuff, so YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all of that stuff is there. And of course, you can record videos from inside the game, too, which is useful when we do the SO emote stuff. So what I've shown you so far is just the big stuff we've done in the last couple of years. But the genre changes constantly. The MMO genre changes constantly, and we have to keep up with it. So we have lots and lots of little things that we've been doing over the years that I'm not even going to try to cover. But once in a while, we do something just because it's really cool, and it needs to be done, and that's SO emote. So with SO emote, what our intention to do is to put the role-playing back into our role-playing games. Essentially be able to let people just play when they play. So this system basically tracks your face onto your character's face, and it's really as simple as that. We partnered with the leader in Hollywood. We partnered with the leader in Hollywood facial tracking software called Imagemetrics. And what we do is we track about 4,000 bits of information on your face. We distill it down into 64 virtual dots, like mocap dots on your face. And then it gets distributed across to other players 30 times a second. So when other people see your character's face move, it's whatever your face is really doing at that time. And as you can see, it's pretty realistic. But role-playing can still be challenging if you look like your character, but you still sound like yourself. You know, like a 13-year-old kid trying to play a big strapping ogre. Not working real well over a microphone. So what we do is we give you something called voice fonts. We worked with another partner called Vivox, and they have this technology, and with it we can essentially transform your voice real time so that other players hear the character that you want to portray. SOE mode is probably the coolest when other people can see what's going on with your face. So realizing that and realizing that we were doing a lot of combat and action that way, we decided to develop some group interfaces, which is going to come up here in a second. And the group interface is nice because no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, you can see what's going on over there. And I can't really say this out loud, and please don't write this down, but I call those the Brady Bunch windows. I don't know what it is. So with that, and then another thing that we're doing is with the voice technology is we put in these local channels. And all that really is proximity-based chatting. So that when you're walking across an area and you come into range of hearing somebody else, you'll naturally start to hear them. And then you can just talk to them instead of having to link everything together. It's just a more natural thing. So SOE Mote sounds like a great tool for role players, but that's not really why we're adding it to the game. SOE Mote is a way of making human communication more realistic, more real seeming, not realistic, real seeming, so that it feels natural. If humans can interact on a natural basis with each other, then they tend to do it more easily. And when they do it more easily, they make more friends. And making friends is really what these games are all about. Okay, showing off is a lot of it. But really, that's what it's all about. So that's the movie. It's 11 years of development in a 10-minute presentation. So you're gonna, there's clearly a lot more to EverQuest 2 than what you saw. But even with just what you saw, I think you can agree it's a pretty big game. And you can find it online if you want to find out more about it. Just search for EverQuest 2. Enjoy.